All right, y'all. We are live on this absolutely beautiful Friday afternoon. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. I do pray everybody watching is super blessed in many ways, guys. Silver is at $100 right now. Silver is at $100 right now. This is absolutely epic and crazy. Bitcoin right now is trying to break out, doing a horrible job, man. Bitcoin is coiling up for a big old move. Silver is breaking out of this crazy range right now for the $100 target. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Silver at $100 an ounce. This honestly feels pretty dang good, considering the fact that I've been myself big into silver since 2014. This is the crazy stuff that we all, all us silver stackers were waiting for this moment our whole lives, just like all us Bitcoin stackers were waiting for 100K our whole dang lives. Make sure to smash up the likes, everybody. Shout out to 33 Yisam, shout out to Cat in Crypto, shout out to Splash Fire, Preparing for War, Radarek Figurelock. What's going on, bro? Man, it's so hard to read these YouTube names ever since YouTube changed the way they display them. But shout out to Athena Hashimoto. Major shout out to Muhammad. He says it's critical right now. Yes, it is. It is literally critical right now. Shout out to Crypto Pump It, baby. Shout out to John William in the house. Shout out to Solis Assist 01. I'd long 50x. Okay. Cool, man. If are you talking about if silver drops down to 94, you'd long 50x? I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, honestly. We are at $101 silver right now. We just got a little bit of a dipperoni. Man, can you believe that, guys? This is crazy. This is crazy. We shall not waste much time. Make sure, guys, to smash up the likes. If we can get 1,000 likes in the first half hour, we will be giving away 1,000 USDT, baby. Major shout out to Jolenberg. And major shout out to Hopium Copium in the house. Vegas Claw, what is going on? He says, welcome, Vanilla Ice. No. Icena. Roboballs, what's the upside target for silver? To infinity and beyond, baby. Moon Boy's back, time to liquidate. Shout out to my man Hopium Copium. Shout out to Wayne Mac 222. What is going on, Wayne Mac 222? Buy BTC says Pips made simple, baby. Shout out to my man Trader Geo. Yo, Trader Geo in the dang house. Guys, make sure to go subscribe to Trader Geo. One of the realest, one of the best traders out there on YouTube, man. All right. Dude trades with multi-million-dollar positions, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a trade, offering some of the best analysis on YouTube for free. Make sure to go subscribe to Trader Geo, guys. Shout out to my man Gold in the Shell. He says hello. And shout out to my man Pursy My Jason Claw Antsy, who says, my boy, what's going on? Let's squeeze the bears all the way to 100K. Trader Geo in the house, feeling boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-lish today. That makes me feel good, man. That makes me feel good. Do I own physical silver? Of course not. Who the heck would own physical silver? That's as dumb as owning physical gold. I mean, someone could steal it, or you could lose it, or the government could take it away. You know? No. Nah, I don't. Shout out to my man, Any Works About Folks Coin. Any works about folks coin? Let's go Ethereum, says Mr. Ethereum. Shout out to Cephas 2025 in the house, baby. Let's dive into the charts here, man. Let's dive right into the dang charts. Alright. Boom. Bam. Bam. Boom. Boom. Bizzle. Alright, guys, this is a silver chart. Let's talk it. What's happening? Let's look for some targets to the upside. So, look, the last time we did some silver analysis live, what were we looking for? What were we looking for? We were looking to come down and fill the gap at the bottom of the value area. All right, we were looking for a bounce right from here. All right, this is the trade that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Silver came down, filled the dang gap. We got to move up we got a back test, and then we got a flip of the POC from resistance, back test as support. We come up and we literally back test value area high as support as well. And now we're in price discovery mode with silver. This is nuts. All right, this is pretty nuts. All right, this is a pretty significant move on silver, 12% since Wednesday. All right, silver's the new Bitcoin, guys. Silver's the new Bitcoin, honestly. I'm looking for these silver trades, baby. More so than these Bitcoin trades. Let's do some top-down analysis here on silver, man. Silver, the star of the show today. The weekly time frame. I'll be honest with you. We're not really seeing any signs of weakness, man. Look, I'm not saying we're not gonna have dips along the way, but the weekly time frame is not showing any signs of weakness. We got the money flow pumping. We invalidated all the bearish dips. Check out the daily. Look at the daily go. The money flow is pumping, baby. All right, money flow is thick. All right, money flow is thick. Let's check out our 4 hour. 4 hour, we've invalidated the bearish divergences on the 4 hour time frame here. Now, we do have some more regional bearish divergence on our 4 hour. Right? We could see this deal going on here. And we can see the money flow coming down a little bit locally. Here's what I'd say, honestly. Right now, if silver gets an oversold wave on the 4 hour, that is the time to be looking for a nice, juicy long. I mean, look at this. When we came down to fill the gap, guys, we confirmed that 4 hour dot right here. And that was the big push to the upside, right? Time before that, obviously, was when we created the gap. That one doesn't count. But the time before that, down here, we confirmed that green dot in the 4. Big old push. Confirmed the green dot in the 4. Big old push, right? Look, this is not financial advice, and I'm definitely not a financial advisor. But look, the trend is your friend until the end, right? And we remember the days, those of us who are OGs in the crypto space, we remember the days when the 4 hour green dots on Bitcoin were the buy signals, right? And then when, you know, things have changed for Bitcoin. But this is a powerful trend to the upside, right? Look at this. Trend's your friend until the end. What does that mean? It means, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's working, keep doing it until it stops. Then you change, then you come back. Just a quick reminder, guys, you can trade silver on BTCC. All right, you can trade silver on BTCC. 10% bonus deposit for first time people on BTCC using the Jason Casper link, as well as a 40% discount on your fees if you use the Jason Casper link to trade silver with your tether as your margin. As your margin, because we all know that margin is way better for you than butter, okay? Just like how you should never own physical silver or gold because it's too dangerous. Don't ever eat real butter. Always eat the margarine. The margarine. Use your tether as margarine. You're going to cook something, cook it in margarine. Cook it in canola oil and soy, GMO soy oil. All right, it's really great for growing those man breasts, nice and big. Everyone likes big man breasts, especially those of us in the crypto space. You know, we don't even have to bring up you know who. If you know, you know. Now, let's get some targets to the upside here on silver. Really, here's the thing. I mean, we have to be in buy the dip kind of mode here. And let's just take a Fibonacci extension and see what we can see. Now, I consider this to be our last nice low here on silver, right? We had a little bit of a range. We had a nice low. We made a higher low into the good old-fashioned Fibonacci golden pocket retracement. All right, so let's just take a look at some Fibonacci extension targets here. Just pull it from this low here to the high, to the low, and see where we're at right now. We are breaking out of our 2-to-1 Fibonacci extension. If we're just going to take it from this little area here, let's pull it up to here. And let's just do this local one here. We are at the 618 Fibonacci extension right there. Man, so the 1-to-1 right now is going to be a $110 per ounce silver. Now, I'm not saying we're going straight there. I'm just saying these are targets to keep in mind. Then we have the 1.618 at 124. and the 2-to-1 extension at 133. These are pretty interesting targets here. Now, here's my thing with the silver. You know, I have a feeling, because $100 is a key psychological resistance, I have a feeling that we are going to pump through it, and we're going to make people feel like there's no end in sight for this, and then we're going to start to range a little bit, right? We're going to start to range a little bit, because here's the thing. Everybody's been saying it's time to short silver. It's time to short silver. It can't go up much higher. But look, when all signals say go, it can go up much higher. There's going to come a point, though, where we are going to trap a whole bunch of people trying to buy the top, and then we're going to have to enter into some kind of range or consolidation, very similar to what we did over here in December, right? All of December, we're just chilling out between 70 and 80 bucks, right? It's going to have to happen again, and when it does, that is the next big opportunity, because whenever you see an asset in a sideways range, that is the time to look for the trade, right? That is the time to look for the trade. You have to mark out the highs and the lows of the consolidation, and when you do such a thing, what this will do is allow you to, if we can establish our first low, then when we come back down to the low, that's when you look for, you know, a buy. And then once we start to make higher highs, like we did here, look, we had this high, then we made a higher high, then we look for a retrace. Now, when you were in a very bullish environment, you look for a retrace off the 382 to the Fibonacci 618, all right? Usually for Bitcoin now, we're looking at the 618 down to the 786. But in a super bullish environment, oftentimes it's the 382 down to the 618 that you want to mark out on your chart. 382 is very bullish, especially for bull flags and stuff like that. Check out this here, for example. All right, if we go down to a lower time frame, when we got the move and the pump and the back test here, if we pull the fib from the low to the high, you could see that we came down to the 382 level, and that's where we got the bounce, right? That gave us the big old break, the big old breakaroni and cheese. So yeah, it's very interesting stuff right now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, yeah, I'm not an Elliott wave guy at all. All right, I'll be honest. I'm just trying to look at this thing and see, do we have some kind of a 5 wave, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deal here? And maybe we could look for an ABC pullback from around $100. And if we do get a pullback from here, then, yeah, you know, I'd say the areas between the dang 382 and the golden pocket are the places to be looking for a bounce. Let's go ahead and update the volume on this chart here. Man, I love me some volatility, you know? It's been a long time since I've had volatility to work with. Let's go ahead and pull the fib now from this low to the high. Let's pull the fib from this low to the high. So we have already, yeah, depends on where we top out at here, guys. You know, we're already at $100. If we come up higher, you know, if we come up higher, we'll have to see what happens over the weekend. But because we're pumping right now, we don't really have any actual fib targets to be looking for to the downside. What I do want to do is I want to look at where the volume has been for this. Let's take a look at a anchored VWAP from this low here. So major support right now for silver is obviously going to be $93.15, right? Currently right now, if we were to, let's say we get a pullback from right here, this is the highest volume node by far throughout the entirety of this range. We got our anchored VWAP from there. We got a fib level from there. Let's go ahead and pull this from the range from December. Yeah, so this is pretty much the same support we were looking at before the big breakout yesterday. We'll leave that alone for now. The main areas that I'd be interested right now in the event of a silver pullback would have to be, number one, our 382, which is going to be essentially just taking out this low, bounced from our 382 to continue up. And if we don't get a bounce from there, then I would be looking to come down towards this area right here. Those would be the next two places that I'd be looking to long silver in the event of a pullback here or a retracement here. You know, last place I was looking to long silver, did give us a major bounce. And the sad thing is, guys, I didn't take the trade because I didn't have access to my chart, didn't have access to anything when we came down here and got the bounce. And then I woke up the next morning and we had already pumped all the way up to here, and I missed out on the dang trade. But you know what? It happens. It happens. There's always going to be another trade. That's what's so great about the markets. There's always going to be another trade, man. You know, man? You know, man? There's always going to be another trade. Yeah, I remember when Bitcoin used to move like this, too. I remember when Bitcoin used to move like this, too. Shout out to Crypto Coons holding it down with the dang wrench. Shout out to Lasers Go Pew Pew. Can you trade silver in Antarctic? Not yet, but you will be able to. Alright, we will be able to trade silver on Antarctic for sure. Alright. Man, this is crazy. We are getting a little bit of a pump here on silver, even as we speak, baby. Alright, let's check out the Bitcoin. How's she doing here? Bitcoin, you know, I took a short here on Bitcoin just because I thought maybe we were going to get a fake out of these range highs, but it looks like we're holding as support. Alright? Looks like we're holding as support here right now on Bitcoin. Alright? Let's go ahead and let's just add a little bit here to this long trade. There we go, baby. Alright, there we go. Alright. Let's see what Bitcoin wants to do right now. You can see here, I've just added a little bit to this long trade. Just messing around here, guys. Up quite... I'm up about $3 grand right now on the Bitcoin longs. Let's see what happens. Again, we're going to be discussing our Bitcoin action here. Shout out to the Casper crew, because look, you know, we have given these trades in order as they are happening in real time, plan given in advance. Of course, when we get the short, I let everyone know I'm shorting. Beautiful drop. When we come down to the long, I let everyone know I'm longing. Beautiful pump. All right. This is the long trade on Bitcoin that we were in before this. Given in real time, guys. Shout out to the Casper crew, where we literally shorted the exact top from Bitcoin in real time. Alright, now let's see what happens here as Bitcoin is attempting to break out. We're going to take a look at our Bitcoin chart over here. We've got the high of the range. Alright. We've got the high of the range right here. 90,004. We're coming up to our next area of resistance, which is going to be around 91-ish. Right here, golden pocket, 91. In fact, I'm going to set a little bit of an alert here on Bitcoin. Let's pop into the dang Bitcoin chart, man. Alright, so here's the deal with Bitcoin. This is the 1 hour time frame. You can see that basically, ever since getting a rejection from $97,000, the trade setup that was given in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, which obviously is still open because there is a chance that this is a lower high in a macro downtrend. Alright, there is a chance. It's not guaranteed, but the way I'm looking at this is if I'm getting into a short trade, I'm not really looking at that short trade as a way to make immediate profit as much as a way to protect myself in the event of a major dump. Okay? So, we got a rejection. We came down to a key level right down here. This was a key level from the dang trade setup that we had in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. As you can see right here, the trade that I let everybody know I was taking in real time in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Of course, we took the trade from down here, and I've added to it now. We're breaking now out of this range. Now, this is very important because, look at this, guys. Obviously, we're coming up now to our next resistance, which is this $91.3 thousand POC. All right? Another place where you should be looking for obviously taking profit. But here's the deal. If we can reclaim this white line here and not reject, we can easily squeeze back up to around 94,000. All right, 94,000. That is going to be the golden pocket from the high to the low. Right around 94,000, right around the value area high, right around this here. And the reason why we could easily get that move is because if we take a look at the order flow, wait, how do you spell, hang on. Yeah, there you go. How do you spell market monkey? Let's take a look at the dang order flow. If you take a look at the order flow, let's go to like the 15-minute here. This whole way down, guys, was characterized by large numbers of shorts opening, okay? So essentially, from this point here, like $93,000, all the way down to the low, we see a big increase of open interest, a big decrease of CVD, showing us that shorts are opening, right? And then as we're here, we see some bullish CVD forming, right? We can see even more bullish CVD forming here. Essentially what bullish CVD is we're seeing lots of people shorting this area, thinking that Bitcoin's going to break down, right? We see lots of shorts opening. We're seeing an increase of open interest. Shorts are opening up, and yet the price is failing to break down. In fact, we're just making higher lows like this, right? If we take a look, we have our low, and we make a higher low, and as we're making the higher low, we notice something strange. Look, there's more people shorting here than there were here. Why is the price making a higher low and not a lower low? Well, the answer is there are whales. All right, here's a picture of the whale. All right, this is the guy on the winning side of all of our losing trades. Right now, he's on a yacht surrounded by hot chicks in the middle of the Caribbean without a care in the world. He's laughing because he stole all our money. All right, there are whales, and what these whales are doing is when they see traders shorting, they are like, you know what? I'm trying to buy a lot of Bitcoin, and the only way I can buy a lot of Bitcoin is if there's people willing to sell at this price. And what do you know? There's a whole bunch of losers on YouTube in a backwards purple hat, tank top on a treadmill in a fake green screen office shorting Bitcoin down here. You know what? I think I'll buy it from him. I'm here on my yacht surrounded by hot chicks. Yeah, I got a beer gut, but it doesn't matter, all right? Health doesn't matter when you have money, right? Right? Now, here's the thing, okay? That whale is absorbing the short, looking to push through the price to the upside, and now we're starting to see a breakout. Yeah, we attempted the fake out. You know, I did go for the short because, look, whenever I see a short, I got to take it. Very, 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 very low risk for me here. All right, because we are in a little bit of longs, right? We're kind of long. We're kind of long from all the trades given in real time in the Casper crew. All right, we're a little bit long here. We're up a couple $1,000, you know. I'm about 12 grand, all right. It's not that's not too much. Not if you're Trader Geo, it's not a lot of money. All right, but if you're Jay Casper, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It'll get you by. It'll keep the wife happy. All right, she can buy her stupid Amazon girl stuff. You know all that stupid Amazon girl stuff girls buy. All that stupid Amazon. You come home from work, you open the front door, and there's a new fake tree in the living room. Why did you buy a fake tree? Oh, I thought it looked nice. Oh, yeah, you thought it looked nice. What the heck, man? Now I have to deal with this fake tree in my living room. And not only that, but there's a fat guy stealing all my money because he's absorbing my shorts at support. Life is crazy, man, I'll tell you. But anyway, look, there's a real chance this will break around 91.3. Nine. You guys know what I mean. Good. You want? All right. Right? Get back in. Look. Hold that. That would be great. Right. We're chill. We're chill. Hey. Link. Some good old Antarctic Exchange. All right. Bet deal on hold on. Don't be wrong. I think. Cooked again. Mike is cooked again. Mike is cooked again. Mike is cooked again. The mic is cooked again. Are we back? How long have we been dang muted? Well. Oh well. Forever. I've been muted forever. Oh well. You know what, man? It's one of those days. It's just one of those days. Shout out to the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you so much for the super chat. How is the mic possibly cooked? I just got a new mic. I just got a new adapter. I just got a new wire. I just got a new everything. I just got a new mic. I just got a new wire. I just got a new mic. I just got a new everything. You know, I just got a new mic too. You know? Just got a new mic too, baby. 15 minutes of silence. 15 minutes of silence. Alright? Man. 15 minutes of silence. That is crazy. You know what? Let's check. Let's see here. Let me check here. Let me check. You know what? I'm just going to listen back to the recording here. The security system I got here on my phone. How long was I actually... Oh, man. Oh, man. Six minutes, 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Wow. That's crazy, man. Well, shout out to everybody who's still here, man. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. You know, you guys deserve... You deserve something awesome for that. I'll be honest. You guys deserve something good for that. You know? You guys deserve something nice for that. You know? I might have to just do a giveaway today. Because you guys are amazing! I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. We'll have to see what happens with this Bitcoin trade. If we can get a pump, baby. If we can get a pump. Pump it back up to the highs. You know? Looking for a rise. Pump it back up to the highs. Looking for a rise. You guys are the best, man. I love all of you. I love all of you. Shout out to Crypto Coon. Shout out to Hard Fork Crypto. Smash the likes for a new mic. We need our J fix. Man, I need my J Casper fix too. You know, Jason Casper, he really does do something for me, I have to be honest. Jason Casper is my therapist. Jason Casper is my therapist. I'm sure I could hear you the whole time in the background here. Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Yeah, so did you guys hear me talk about the squeeze? The squeeze that we could be getting here? Look, the money flow is crossing on the 1 hour. We could squeeze up to 93. We've got our POC. Let's pull the local volume as well here. We got our POC. Yeah, so this is our first area that we're looking for a rejection from. Alright, first area that we look for the rejection from. And then after that, well, we just wait it out. We wait it out, potentially get the squeeze from the highs, baby. Squeeze from the highs. Man, all right. Let's see what's going to go on here. All right. Let me just make sure that this, you know, it's so strange. How does the mic stop working like that? You know, it is pretty crazy, isn't it? It is pretty crazy. Let's see what we got over here. All right. 1 second. Just bear with me, guys. We're gonna put the trades on the screen. Alright, we're going to put this Bitcoin long trade on the screen. Can we break out above the level? Bitcoin is all base and no treble. Okay? Uneven butt cheeks, I understood. Jay Likes Crypto says, give signals, bro. Well, I mean, look. I'm doing my best over here to give signals, okay? Just kidding. Look, I'm not a financial advisor. This ain't no financial advice over here. Alright? I'm not a financial advisor. This ain't no financial advice over here. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I'm not a financial advisor. This is definitely not financial advice. So thank you to everybody who's still here. The whole time I was muted, I made love to a beast, says Diamond Palm. That sounds really crazy, man. I hope you didn't really do that. You know, God says not to do that. You know, it's weird. God wouldn't have to say not to do that if people didn't do that, but you know, I guess to each their own. You know, but that's definitely not my thing, you know? So, that's kind of weird. We got to give a major shout out to the super chat in the house, Hard Fork Crypto. Hard Fork Crypto. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. I'm gonna see what you said right now. Just give me 1 second, because, you know, give me 1 second, baby. Alright, let's check out the super chat from Hardcore Crypto. He says, Jason Casper, I'm down 20 pounds the year just doing fasted cardio, listening to your live streams on the treadmill, bro. Thanks. Well, thank you, man. I mean, thank yourself, right? You're the one who did the fasted cardio. You know what I'm saying? You're the one who got on the treadmill fasted. Come on, Bitcoin. We need a big break. You know, I'm definitely not doing fasted cardio. All right, I've got lots of glycogen in my muscles right now. All right, lots of calories in me now. But look, fasted cardio, you can't go wrong if you're trying to lose some fat quickly. Wow, look at that. Here we are back in the office. Wow. Wow, would you look at that? Back in the office, baby. That's so cool how you can go from not the office to the office. Check out the rig, guys. Wow, look at all those props up there. My goodness. I know it looks like I'm streaming in a closet with a green screen, but no, this is actually a real nice office. You can tell by my real YouTube 100K plaque back there. Would I ever have a fake YouTube plaque? Of course not. Jason Casper's the realest as they come. He's the realest as they come, baby. Here we are back in the office, baby. Back on the treadmill. Bitcoin's pumping as we're going uphill. Bitcoin's pumping as we're going uphill. About to inject myself with the blue bullish syringe candle right into the deltoid. Ah! Pumping it up, baby. Pumping up the Bitcoin price to a new all-time high, baby. That's how we roll. All right. Man, you guys are the best for sticking with me, honestly. You guys are the best. How big of an account do you need to actually do this? Honestly, you only need like a $250,000 account, in my opinion, to live comfortably. Like, how much money do you need, to be honest? You know? But it depends. Like, here's the thing. Everyone has different financial needs. Like, that's the thing, man. Like, look. As we're waiting for Bitcoin to pump, is silver pumping? Nah, silver's not even pumping. Silver's just chilling out, alright? Silver's just chilling out here. Looks like maybe she wants to roll over, to be honest. Look, how much do you need? For me, I'd say, look, if you're trying to make like $5,000 a month, easily, you know, $250,000 account is the way to go. You know, that's easy. That's like super easy. Like, you don't have to trade every day. You know, you're using real good risk management, super conservative. All right, I'm not talking about a liberal trader as much as a conservative trader here. $250,000 is easy mode, honestly. If you want like $5,000 to $10,000 a month, depending. That's my sweet spot, is a $250,000 account. People are like, Jay, why don't you trade more? I mean, I just don't like to, but sometimes I do. You guys see me trading the millions. Well, some of you have. I don't know. How many people do we even have watching now? 3? 3 people watching. Wow, 3 people watching. My goodness. 3 people watching. Yeah. I don't think we were getting a rejection from the POC. Shout out to my man Bullish on Parade. Praise Jesus, bro. What was that? It was a syringe of bullish blue candle juice, baby. You know, look, here's the thing. We bet not. If we start getting bearish, you know, we got the red juice, baby. I'm still a narco-capitalist. That's what's up, man. Your trade is long or short, buddy. So here's the thing, all right? Lasers go pew pew. I did open up a short here, all right? Open up a little bit of a short trade here in case we get the fake out and come back down. All right, I opened up a little bit of a short in case we get the fake out and come back down. However, primarily I am long, all right? I am long more than I am short, all right? I guess I'm short too on good old KCEX, but this is an old short, a real old short. But yeah, I'm primarily long, but I did short. Oh, and I'm short too from 96K. All right, so I'm in a few positions. All right, I'm long on Bitcoin from December 15th. I'm short on Bitcoin from January 14th, and I'm short just now, and I'm long from a few days ago. I've added to the position. Okay. Okay, yeah, so that's the deal. That's the positions. If we hold above this level, guys, I am expecting a bit more upside on Bitcoin, probably to come up to 91.3. Let's put on our 12-minute market Cipher B right here. All right, 12-minute market Cipher B. I did short this based on the money flow, to be honest with you. Based on the money flow and the 12-minute red dot, I shorted it. If we get another push up, maybe we do something like this, right? Then I would actually short that again, I'm not going to lie. I'd probably short that again. And if we do that, I would also take some profits on the long and short it back down. All right, short it back down. We've also got this area here, 91.3. We've got some liquidity up here as well. Also, if we take the Fibonacci from the last high to the low, hey way. Oh wow, we're at a golden pocket. I thought we already hit that golden pocket. Okay, forget it then. We already hit that golden pocket, man. We have 666 viewers. That's interesting. Shout out to Valerie. God bless you, Valerie. We might hold, to be honest. That would be cool. Next leg for Ethan Bitcoin very soon. Is it going to be up or down? All right. I am so long, I need tutors to hold straight. Do you ever get that? You look like Joel Hansen. I don't know who that is, to be honest, but no, I never get that. Shout out to John's Kemanske. How's life, brother? Life is a blessing. All right, everything good in my life is because of the Lord Jesus. Praise God. How do you determine what range to use for the point of control? You just look and use your eyes. It seems like every time silver wants to roll over, makes a little dip in the new all-time high. I know, right? I know, I've literally been sitting here watching the price of silver, like, waiting for an entry, upset that I missed my planned entry down here. And I haven't gotten an entry, so, you know, obviously right now I'm in a fake long trade. When I say fake, I mean I have $1,000 on the trade just so I can, like, be in a trade. But I don't actually have any real money on silver right now, sadly. But just you guys wait, all right? Just you guys wait, because soon, your boy is going to be in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of silver long contracts, all right? So the trade is going to come, all right? It's going to come. It has to. It's like when a woman gives birth, the baby has to come. No matter what, the baby's going to come. No one ever heard of it. The baby's going to come no matter what. It might take a long time. Might seem like forever. All right, the baby's gonna come. All right, it'll happen when it's ready. Same with the silver trade. It'll happen when it's ready. Look at the 12-minute on silver. Look at this disgusting looking rising channel here. You know, let's just take a little look at this, to be honest. Let's just take a little look at this. Just curious here. This is the channel that we've got. Midline being respected, bottom being respected. Let's pull a fib from low to high. Let's pull the volume again. Let's get some fresh eyes on this. Man, you know what my problem is? I'm waiting for too good of entries, but man, if only I had taken this trade down here, man. I planned for it and I just... Look at the beautiful bullish divergences and everything. Just wasn't there. Just wasn't there. And I can't bring myself to FOMO in after a big pump. Like I couldn't long this. I was waiting for lower here. You know, should have longed it, but hindsight is 20/20, man. I'm not used to such a bullish asset. Not used to such a bullish asset here. Let's see how this has behaved. Alright, let's see how this behaved. Yeah, I mean, it looks like when you get a big wick to the down, that seems to be a buy the dip moment. Big 12-minute oversold wave as well. Seems to be the moments too. You know, we're going to have to wait for things to rotate back down, unfortunately. Money flow in the purple on the 12-minute, that's when you should be looking for a nice long on silver. You know, that money flow in the purple, that's been what's up. Let's check out the 1 hour. I mean, really, money flow in the purple on the 1 hour is support. It is support right now. If we see the money flow dip in the purple on the 1 hour, that is support. Let's check out the 24-minute. Same deal. I've been looking at the 24 and the 12 to see when that money flow dips below that zero line. That is time, prime time to be peeping out a position on the precious metal that the people love to buy. Peeping out a position on the precious metal that the people love to buy. You know? Yeah. Can we enter now on Bitcoin? What are we entering? Long, short? Well, here's the thing. I entered a short trade upon the loss of this level. Obviously, it held as support. Now we're making a lower high consolidation. I mean, there's two ways you could look at this. I don't like to take trades to the upside here. Technically speaking, this is a bull flag. Let's take a look at the money flow here. I mean the order flow. It's a big decrease of open interest. We saw a lot of longs open. Now they're closed. Shorts are closing out. It's a 50-50 shot in my opinion. Let's come back to the Bitcoin chart here. It's a 50-50 shot. I would say this. If we break to the upside, we do have a resistance above us as well, so this is still a possible thing. If we start to close candle below 94.69, then, you know, yeah, it's in my opinion, the trade to be had now is a short in the event of a fake out. But remember, you guys got to remember here, everybody's in a unique position. All right, so as far as my personal trading goes, I'm pretty long locally, right? This short trade is, I'm not looking to make money on the short as much as I am looking to protect my capital, protect my gains, right? You know? So I would prefer a pump and prefer to take a $400 loss on this short trade and then, you know, just cover that and way more on the long. That's what I prefer right now. But we will see what happens here. We will see what happens here. This is a very difficult time to be taking a long trade on Bitcoin, in my opinion. Reason being is because we're seeing tops on the 24-minute. We're seeing tops on the 12-minute. The half hours looking toppy. It's a difficult time to be taking a trade. The 1 minute, we don't have any bullish divert. Like it's tough. It's tough for a long trade. We got a triangle. We got a decrease of open interest. It's really nothing I would really. I could never long this here. The only thing I could do is short. And admittedly speaking, it's not the best short trade to have either. Okay? This is kind of a no trade zone. The only reason I've opened up a new short here, guys, is to protect my gains. Alright? To protect my gains. 200K next, bottom is in. MicroStrategy. Let's take a look at MicroStrategy. Shout out to Lucky Jimbob 111. Yeah, is it a good time to enter long? I can't. What's the silver ticker on KCEX? It's not on KCEX, guys. It is on BTCC. Alright, BTCC, and the ticker is Silver USDT. Alright, you can trade S&P 500, Tesla. You can trade MicroStrategy. Alright. So right now, guys, primarily I'm trading on KCEX. I'm trading on Antarctic. I'm trading on Weeks. And I'm trading on BTCC, baby. Alright. So, here's silver. Here's silver getting a nice little blue candle on the one. Baby. A blue candle on the one. MicroStrategy. Let's check it out on the weekly first. Ooh, money flow deep in the purple here. Well, I mean, we have lost key support. Money flow in the deep purple. Money flow in the deep purple. We got a little smoke on the water here. You know, if we can't reclaim this, we're coming back down to $100. But I would say this, you know, a big weekly bottom on MicroStrategy is nothing to take lightly. Also, here's the deal, guys. The daily, all right? The daily is potentially breaking out of the downtrend. All right, it's potentially breaking out of the downtrend. I would watch this to form an accumulation range right here. Right? I would watch this here. Maybe we got to move up. We reject. We get to move down, and we come back in the range. Right? We do something like this. If we did something like that, that would actually be super bullish looking for MicroStrategy. But if we don't get a reclaim of this, and we just take the highs and then we break down and form another range, that's looking really not so great. You know? But right now, this is the range to be looking at. I would say that, you know, coming back up into the box around 208-ish, this is resistance. Could look for a rejection and a move back down to the lows around 145. And then if we see bullish divs and a reclaim, we could look for the break to the upside and finally break out of this, right? But if not, and we just we don't get any bullish divergences, but we still continue to see bearish signs, you know, just be aware that now we are back inside this range, right? When you form a range in the past, when you come back inside of that range, oftentimes those range levels will be respected. Let's take a look at the value areas here. Yeah, I mean, we're literally at the POC right now. So we could see another low down to value area low of previous range, or actually range low at around 101, 102. This is a very interesting time for MicroStrategy because remember, their average buy-in price is $75,000 Bitcoin, which is pretty high. You know, I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty high. You know? That is pretty high. So if we go below $75,000 Bitcoin and the MicroStrategy stock keeps tanking, that might be a catalyst. That might be a catalyst. Major shout out to Preparing for War, by the way. God bless you, Preparing for War. You're the man, bro. Preparing for War is the man. Shout out to Lasers Go Pew Pew. Shout out to the Asset House. Sailor was on Forbes magazine cover. That's never a good sign. Yeah, you're right. You're so right about that. I think I remember another man who was on the cover of Forbes magazine before his exchange turned out to be a fraud. That's crazy. There's a CME gap that needs to be closed at 92,800. On Bitcoin, huh? Let's check it out. CME gap at 92.8. Let's check it out. CME gap at 92.8. One second here. Whoops. 1 second here. 1 second here. 1 second here. 92.8. Huh. Alright, let's go to the actual CME futures chart then. Oh yeah. Here it is. Would you look at that? There's a little CME gap right here. A wee little gap right here. Could get a little squeeze up there, honestly. Have to wait and see what happens. Alright. Bitcoin doing literally nothing. It's doing literally nothing. When Bitcoin dumps down to 50K, strategy will tank. Yeah. I know. That's what I'm saying, the Asset House. So, you know, in my opinion, when that happens, which I do think it's very likely to happen, I would be very interested in buying tons of Bitcoin on spot. Because you know what they're going to be saying, right? They're going to be saying, Bitcoin's over, it's dead. Look, silver and gold are pumping, Bitcoin's not pumping. People don't look at it as a safe asset anymore. People don't look at it as a safe haven asset anymore. And there's going to be a lot of bearishness, you in the atmosphere. That is the time to be buying some Bitcoin. Some Bitcoin on spot, man. Pray for their downfall. You know, I don't think it's ever good to pray for the downfall of anybody, but I feel you, Doc the Goat, man. Like, I feel you. I feel you. Look, it's so strange that this guy, Michael Saylor, is being propped up as like this like super genius in Bitcoin crypto. I'm pretty sure every business he's ever had went bankrupt, but this time he has an impossible to fail model, like the Titanic type thing, you know, impossible to sink. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, 92.8 CME gap. You know. Guys, make sure to check out Antarctic Decentralized Exchange, alright? This thing is going to be the next big thing in crypto. Alright, no KYC, it's decentralized. Has a mobile app. You can enter unlimited trades, right? Look at this. I'm short. I could enter right now another short, alright? I could enter another short right now. I could enter short. Now I'm in 2 trades. Alright? 2 trades, I could enter a long. You know? Boom. Now I'm in a long. Alright? All for the same asset. Alright? I could enter another short. If I wanted to. Alright? Look at this, guys. Okay? I'm in, right now, 3 shorts in the long on Bitcoin. You know what? I'm feeling another long on Bitcoin. You know? Go ahead and open the long trade. Now, guys, these fees are so low. They're 0.015%. This is a decentralized exchange, okay? So, you hold everything on your hot wallet, your cold wallet. It can hook up on your mobile device, right? No frozen accounts, nothing. Super low fees. You can have split mode or you can have merge mode, where you add to the open trade. Alright, pretty soon you're going to be able to hold spot assets on here, and then you're going to be able to trade, you know, the silver, the gold, the stocks, commodities, all that. Alright? This is the next big thing, I'm telling you. The next big thing. Alright, so make sure to check it out. Also, guys, make sure to check out KCEX if you want to trade on a centralized exchange. And right now, if you want to trade silver on with your Tether's margin, BTCC, 10% deposit bonus, 40% discount on fees. Alright, they're hooking it up, baby. They're hooking it up. So, I better close out these trades I don't want. Let me close out these trades I don't want. Oh, hang on. Also, you know what else is cool about Antarctic Exchange, guys? Is the fact that it's blue and purple. Alright? It's blue and purple. It's blue and purple. Alright, I made 15 cents, baby. It's blue and purple. Yeah, Antarctic.exchange. Check it out, man. Check it out. Alright. The team is awesome, alright? We got people from all these exchanges. Alright. And companies on the team. Alright, it's pretty cool. Pretty dang cool. Zero gas, lower fees, self-custody, super privacy. We got the liquidity of a centralized exchange, the transparency of a DEX. You can be a liquidity provider, which means you actually get paid part of the fees. And when people get liquidated, it's made for traders. Alright, made by traders for traders. Check out the roadmap here. Alright. Anyway, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Alright, looks like Bitcoin's losing the level. And looks like the short's in a little bit of profits here. Yeah. Alrighty. I'm gonna close out half the long. Close out half the long. Just chopping around here, man. This Bitcoin price is boring. Is it not? Is it not boring? Did he open another long on Bitcoin? Yeah, just as demonstration. Shout out to Crypto Scarface. Let's take $1 bet Bitcoin won't go below $65. Yeah, let's see what happens, you know? Let's see what happens. Alright, we're starting to get the fake out of the high here. Let's see if we come down a bit more or not. Do I use the charts on Antarctic TradingView? No. Nope. I only ever use the charts for Bybit USD. Inverse perpetual. Alright? That's all I do. That's all I use. Bybit inverse perpetual. Alright? That's all I do and that's all I use. Bitcoin, no water, only juice. It's all I do and it's all I use. Bitcoin's no water, only juice. Alright? It's all I use. Bitcoin's no water, only Jews. Bitcoin is boring. But not the community. Yeah, that's true, man. Alright, let's check out silver again while we're waiting for Bitcoin to make a move. Silver is pumping, man. I mean, not pumping, but holding. Silver's holding. Look at that. Look at that bounce on silver. Oh my goodness, man. Silver's at a new all-time high, baby. Is silver at a new all-time high? Silver's at a new all-time high. Silver's making new highs, baby. Silver is making new highs. Oh my goodness, would you look at this crazy pump? Would you look at that crazy pump? Oh my goodness, look at that candle. That's what we need, baby. That's what we need right now. Do I suggest using a weighted vest on a treadmill? Yeah, so here's the thing, okay? You can if you want to. Here is the thing about working on a treadmill. It's the ultimate life hack, okay? If you want to stay lean and eat as much food as you want, the treadmill is the ultimate life hack, alright? If you have a weighted vest, you will obviously burn more energy. Now here's the thing. You have to have balance in your life. If you have too much stress in your life and you don't sleep enough and you're lifting heavy and you're eating a whole food, nutrient-dense diet, you might find that the weighted vest is too much and it will lead to burnout, okay? So you have to know your body. You need to sleep well, you need to eat well, and if you have a lot of fat to lose, then I feel like the weighted vest is a good way to go, alright? But, you know, I know myself when to use it and when not to use it. Right now, I am not using it, as you guys can see. Haven't used it in a while. I'm in a phase of recovery, alright? I can only go so hard for so long, and then I gotta pull back a little bit. So, now I'm pulling back a little bit, you know? But yeah, there are times where it's awesome, okay? But you really have to find the balance for your own body and personal situation. Alright? Life is a delicate balance. Everything is a give and take in life, so you're walking on a treadmill in a weighted vest all day, you're going to be taking resources from other areas. And if you're not sleeping right, or you have too much stress in work or relationships, or even in the gym, like, you know, sometimes, like, you're working out, lifting weights so hard that the walking with the vest, it hurts your recovery. Like, you gotta know. I don't know your situation. You know? I don't know your situation. Man, if only I had entered into a fat, juicy long trade on silver instead of this $1,000 position. I'm still here, bro. Pump song on silver. I know, right? Fox Business said buy silver 3 to 4 years ago. And I sure did. That's good. I've been into silver for many years. Like, honestly, the first thing I got into was silver. Silver and gold. The first investments I ever made in my life, in my early 20s. Silver and gold. Let's check out gold, by the way. Gold and silver. Practice elevation changes and add weight slowly, says Doc the Goat. How many pull-ups can I do? Man, so I know I can do over 30. I know I can. I told people I'd take a video and I forgot, and then when I did take a video, I could only do 29. It was literally my third set of pull-ups. But you know what? One of these days, I'm gonna take a video. All right. The most recent video I have is of me doing weighted chin-ups. Let me see. I'll get a video of me doing weighted chin-ups with 90 pounds. 10 reps, baby. 10 reps, baby. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it here. Using dumbbells can help you do more chin-ups. We gotta take a look at gold. Let's take a look at gold. XAU. Are we at 5? We hit 5 grand? Not quite. We're definitely gonna hit 5 grand on gold. Let's check out gold real quick, man. We're gonna start on our weekly time frame. This is crazy. I'm way more into gold than I am silver, to be honest with you. I've always have been. In other words, when it comes to my portfolio, I've always been more into gold than I have into silver. Oh, man, I've been heavily into gold and silver, though, since 2014. So right around this area here is when I really started to get in heavily into buying gold. And what's funny is I did that heavily until, 2016 is when I got my first Bitcoin. It's about halfway through, and then 2018 is when I really started to trade Bitcoin heavily. So it's quite interesting. When I started to really get into Bitcoin, gold also started to pump as well. Would you look at this craziness on gold, man? This is wild. This is wild. Let's see here. I don't actually know if I'll be able to show this video of me doing weighted chin-ups. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's see here. You guys see all my files here? Yeah, you see all my files here. This is the video. Can you see it? Here we go. Weighted chins, 90 pounds. I think I get 10. Seven, right? Maybe I didn't get 10. I got 9. I got 9. All right, 9. And that last one, I consider that 9. All right, there we go. 9. 9. 9. All right. All right, let's get to the gold. My goodness, gapping up on the weekly. This is crazy. This is a wild pump on gold. Let's check this out. You know, we're gonna have to go down to a lower time frame here. This is the daily. I mean, we're invalidating the bearish divs. We're invalidating the bearish money flow here. I would say if we come back down to fill the gap, which silver did. Silver filled the gap. Gold did not fill the gap. But we do have a gap down at 4,600. All right. I don't think we're... I mean, if we fill that gap now, it's going to be a huge move down. That would be pretty dang juicy. Let's pull the fib from the last low to high. I mean, whew. I mean, we do have a golden pocket there. Let's pull the fib from this last big swing low here. That's also, the gap is also the 382 fib and a support resistance flip. I mean, obviously right now, some important support would be this area, right? But we're gonna do some other stuff. All right. People making fun of my haircut. Yeah. My legs don't look that small here. Well, look, here's the thing. What's funny is that post definitely was not the most flattering of my legs, okay? My legs are, like I said, it's really hard for me to grow my legs, okay? It's hard for me to grow my legs. But, especially the calves, okay? It's hard for me to grow the legs, especially the calves. But, you know, the quads are decent. Like, that's the thing. Like, if I have a picture of myself, for example, if I take a picture of myself, all right, half naked, like this, all right, the quads, they look kind of proportional. I'm 6'3", okay. Below the knee, I cannot add size, okay. Below the knee, I just cannot. But you could see too. At least the calves are somewhat defined, you know. You could see over here. I mean, at least you could see that there's some kind of muscle tone there. You could tell I train them, even though they're small, even though they're not proportionate to the rest of my body. You can still tell that I train them, right? You know what I mean? Wait, how the heck do I get out of this? Uh-oh. But you guys know what I'm saying, right? The picture I posted on Twitter was a little bit just to mess around with people. It looked really bad on Twitter. It was just the angle and the lighting. You know, get the angle and lighting right, man. That's everything. Everything in life is angle and lighting. That's why I constantly walk around with lights surrounding me in the right position. Alright? Let's see. We'll go down to the 4 hour. People making fun of my haircut, man. I cut my own hair. What can I say? I have some strings hanging off the shorts. I don't know. Are those organic cotton breeches? Nah, they're just normal breeches. They're just normal breeches. I don't know. I actually got them at the beach a few years ago. You like the organic cotton breeches? Alright, let's, speaking of the British breeches, let's pull another Fibonacci from the low to the high here. Let's pull another fib here. So, we're seeing this stair-step pattern. Man, it would have been really nice to come and fill that gap on gold. I'm gonna keep an alert set down here, just in case. Let's take a look at the volume since that gap. So I would say even just coming down to 4,883 value area high, we have this fair value gap on the 4 hour coming down to the golden pocket. Fair value gap on the 4 hour right now, right around here. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame. Let's see if we have any kind of single prints. I don't. We might have some single prints to fill there as well. Yeah, look at that. So right there, we've got single prints to fill. We also have a fair value gap and some single prints right here at 4,900. But yeah, it would be interesting to come down. We got a single print here at the value area high, at the golden pocket, right in this zone that I've marked out. So, you know, locally for gold, if we happen to get a move down of about, you know, 2.5%, that's a nice local support right there. Just ruck up and down hills. I have, right? That's the thing. I have, okay. I've tried a lot of things for my calf. Like what I think, truly what I think it is I don't know how to use my calf muscles. I really think that's what it is. I think I don't know how to use my calf muscles. Because every muscle on my body that I've ever... Because I'm not naturally muscular, all right? I was a really fat kid, and it took me a very long time to build muscle, all right? It did not come easy to me. So, like, everyone's, like, their prime's in, like, their 20s, and then they slowly get worse. For me, when I was in my 20s, I looked like crap compared to now, right? So every muscle I've ever significantly grown, it's like all of a sudden, like a light switch went off in my mind where I realized how to work the muscle, how to feel that muscle when I do the exercise. Because there's a huge difference between lifting weights and working a muscle, right? You could do bicep curls all day and not work your biceps. You could do bench press all day and not work your chest. You could do rows all day and not work your back. You could do squats all day and not work your quads or not work your glutes. Like, you have to learn how to use the muscle. I've always had a very difficult time connecting with my calves. And so when I walk uphill, when I do the Stairmaster, I'm not even kidding. I do ruck on hills, like in my house, my homestead. I have this huge field, that's a giant hill. I go out there with the weighted vest. I do the rucking up the hill. It's really hard for me to feel the calf. So I think that's why they don't grow. And maybe part of that's genetic. Like, genetically, I can't feel them. I think it's because I'm so tall. Like, I'm so tall. My legs are very long. So I have very bad proportions for, I think, like, working my legs. But I'm not trying to make excuses, you know? You could drink water all day and not be a chicken. But shout out to Big Huggies. That's what I'll try to do. Do I have pics before I started working out? Well, not too many. I definitely have a lot of pictures of myself in my 20s. Not really much before that. Because I was like super fat, like as a teenager, and like way out of shape. And then I started working out with weights as a teenager, and I lost a lot of weight real quick. So I remember I lost like 50 pounds in like a month and a half. Like, I just stopped eating, whole long story. And then I was like skinny fat, you know? Then I was skinny fat. I was skinny fat for a long time. And then I didn't know anything about nutrition. You know, when I first started doing that, I thought fat was bad. I thought carbs were okay as long as they weren't sugar. So like I ate like sugar-free garbage food and stuff like that. Fat-free, sugar-free nonsense, garbage, stuff like that. And so I'd say of working out seriously, I've been doing it since I was maybe 27, and I'm 35. So working out and eating right for probably about 8 years or so. I'd say that's how long it took me to get from like kind of skinny fat-ish to like what I'm at now. You were always skinny and malnourished when you were a kid. I was fat and malnourished. I was super fat and malnourished as a kid. Here we go, Bitcoin dumping. We're losing the level. Let's see, boring action. Let's check out Market Monkey. Yeah, I was fat and malnourished. I would come home from school and just sit there and eat like potato chips and like play video games. Super bad at all sports. Played baseball for 3 years, never hit the ball once. Like, that's how bad I was, right? So, yeah, definitely malnourished. It is weird, though. What's funny is, I do have a tutorial on how to use Antarctic, alright? It's on my YouTube channel. Check it out. Just decrease of Y. This is crap price action right now. This is total crap price action. Alright, silver forming another... Looking like silver wants to pump up a little bit more here. I'm glad that I was unhealthy when I was younger, because now I'm healthier as an adult. Like, most kids, I feel, don't worry about their health or body composition because they're just naturally lean, and, you know, the old, oh, you can eat anything you want when you're a teenager and stay lean and fit and all this. And so people have that mentality, and then when they're in their mid-20s, everything goes. But thankfully for me, in my teens, I looked like crap, I felt like crap, and it pushed me down the path of wanting to get in shape. And so now that I'm in my mid-30s, being in shape is just part of my normal life. Like, I can't even imagine life without, like, going to the gym. I cannot even imagine eating like a normal American diet. Like, I just can't. It's so funny. Me and my wife, we always talk about, wouldn't it be so nice to go out to a restaurant and this and that on a date, you know? We had someone to watch the kids. And then we're like, yeah, but what would we eat? Like, it sounds nice. What the heck would we eat? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to eat that crap. You know what I'm saying? Unless we go to like a steakhouse and you have like steak and potato and vegetables. If it's not steak, potato, and vegetables, I don't want to eat it. No zero sugar Cool Whip? Not anymore. Bitcoin failed breakout? Dread mining? You know, it looks like a dread mining. I'll tell you, man, everything right now on Bitcoin is so dang boring. Looks like a failed breakout. You know, I don't know. It's hard to say. This price action has been literally garbage, alright? The silver price action is where it's at right now, alright? The silver price action is where it's at right now. You know? All you eat is eat, says Lasers Go Pew Pew. What is Market Monkey? It's an order flow platform. You know? Yeah, Lasers Go Pew Pew never ate junk and always played 2 to 3 sports. That's what's up, man. When did I start trading? At what age? So when I was 26, I got my first Bitcoin. When I was 28, I started trading Bitcoin on... Actually, when I was 28, I started trading FOREX. But then I quickly switched over to crypto. And the reason is because I had no money to trade Forex, but I had lots of money in crypto from buying Bitcoin at $600. And so that's just kind of where I stayed. But now I'm trying to venture out into other markets here, so I might start trading some options. I think I'm going to start trading options. You know? Steak, potato, veggies, fish, and veggies. Beef fajitas, really good. Sounds great, man. You bought silver in 2020, waiting for Armageddon, had to sell 2/3 to pay for debt. Dang. I'm sorry to hear that, dread mining. God bless Crypto Dylan 4775. God bless you, and God bless Dave Digital. God bless Dave Digital. Meat. All you eat is meat? All you eat is meat? I eat a lot of plants too, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a very carb-heavy guy. I know a lot of people are in like the carnivore keto camp. I just can't. I can't do that. Like, I don't know. It makes me feel like literal crap. It's weird. I know a guy who says, you know, if you eat carbs, then, you know, you'll store all this fat and you don't need carbs to replenish your glycogen and all this. And like, I mean, I'm sure all that's true in theory, but for me, carbs, man, that's the way. I love carbs. So if I don't eat carbs, I feel like garbage. Now look, I don't think it's because of poor insulin sensitivity, because I have very good blood markers when it comes to my metabolic health. And also, I can fast for a very long time and be super active. Like, I could fast, I can work out fasted, I could do a heavy leg workout and walk on the treadmill for 6 hours and not feel hungry or dizzy or lightheaded or anything, feel totally fine. Alright? But if I eat a meal that doesn't have carbs, I feel like garbage after, okay? Like, if I do that and then I had like eggs and cottage cheese and like an avocado only, I feel satisfied for like an hour, and then I'm like ravenously hungry and tired, like I have no energy. Then like give me like 3 apples or like a couple potatoes with that meal, and I feel perfect. I feel fine. I don't have spikes. I don't have spikes and crash. I don't have none of this crap. Unless I eat only fat and protein, then I have those crashes. You know? But I think everyone's different. But for my body, like when I eat carbs, it revs the engine. When I eat carbs, it speeds my metabolism. When I eat carbs, I'm more ripped. I'm more shredded. Like my abs pop out more. When I have like 400, 500, 600 grams of carbs a day, you know, I don't eat carbs, I'm looking flat, man. Carbs have zero importance. You can live your entire life without them. Man, but who would want to do that? Like, I hear that. I hear people say that. You know, gluconeogenesis. Your body can make glucose from gluconeogenesis. All right. Seems like a lot of work when you could just eat a dang potato. You know? Also, you got to think to yourself, too. And I think this a lot about diet nutrition. Who the heck? And everyone talks about like our ancestors and like, you know, previous generations. Like, why were our great-grandparents all in good shape and they didn't work out? Right? I'll tell you what our great-grandparents weren't doing. Keto or carnivore. No one had access to that kind of meat and fat. You know? They were eating carbs, man. Carbs are cheap and easy to grow on your own land. Anyone can produce potatoes and squash for themselves and corn. But if you want to produce enough beef to eat your dang ribeye every night and for breakfast and lunch, I mean, how many cows are you going to have to go through? You can't do that on your own property. And you got a village full of people. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's not sustainable naturally. You know? That's just not sustainable naturally. When I say naturally, I mean just you and the land and no grocery store, no Whole Foods and all this. You know? Yeah, I wish I could live like my grandparents too. Here we go, baby. Silver making another higher high. Silver making another higher high. Silver closing in on $102 right now. Yeah, eggs is the only sustainable protein source, I think. Eggs. And I eat tons of eggs because I have chickens. I raise chickens, you know? Everyone should raise chickens. Man, look at silver go, baby. What do I think will be the catalyst to get the Bitcoin spark going? I think we need some serious pain and suffering, and then we can get it going again. But I don't know. Look, if we break out of 92, we could see a big pump back to above 97. You can avoid carbs. Just eat fat cuts of beef. Is the only food that you need ever. I know I hear that from the carnivore people, you know, but is that sustainable? Like, put yourself in a position right now in the 1800s on a dang homestead where it's just you and your community growing food and raising animals, are you going to be able to eat fatty cuts of steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day? No. No, you're not. No, you're not. Go back to the 1900s, early 1900s in America, when nobody was obese. Nobody was keto and nobody was carnivore. I'm not saying those foods aren't important. I myself eat lots of red meat. I eat lots of eggs. I eat lots of dairy. But it's just not sustainable. It's only sustainable in a first world situation where you have a grocery store down the street where you can stock up your fridge of ribeye steaks and New York strip steaks that probably came from like 10 different cows, and you're done with 10 cows in like a week. That's totally not natural or normal in any way. You know, go back just to the land, and that's there's no way that a human sustainably can eat that way. So it's always so weird to me when they talk about like the ancestral way was like this weird high-fat carnivore. Are you kidding me? Even if you were a hunter-gatherer, you're not going to be gathering and hunting fatty cuts of beef for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know? That's true. Nobody sat around all day either. That's why I have the treadmill, you know? Shout out to my man, Dr. A. Says you should focus on high-quality relationships for sure. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way. Yeah, shout out to Crispy. Americans should focus more on enjoying life. You can eat as healthy as you want, but if you're obsessed and stressed with making more money and work, it doesn't matter what you eat. That's so true, 100%. It's 100%, absolutely, 1,000%. I agree. You should prioritize family, relationship with God first, relationship with family, and just enjoying life. Like doing nothing, sleeping, sitting outside, looking across the lake, just thinking and being thankful, honestly. What a nice scalp short on Bitcoin. Yeah, you're right. That is a nice scalp on Bitcoin. Let's see if we come down to take the lows. Looks like I lost my audio for a second here. I don't know if you guys have audio, but it seems like I don't. What's up with that? Now I have audio. That's cool. That's cool. You don't believe in God, now what? Well, look, a lot of people that don't believe in God still find value in prayer and meditation. Because look, every person is a worshiper. Whether you believe in God or not, you're worshiping something, you're serving something, you're living for something. And that thing that you live for is the thing that you worship. So if that's yourself, you know, obviously, in my worldview, that's going to lead to your destruction, your eternal destruction. But take some time every day to be thankful and full of gratitude for the things that you have in your life. You know, we're created and designed to have gratitude towards an external source, to focus that gratitude externally. And you're going to find so much joy and fulfillment and satisfaction in that. And it obviously is much better when you direct that gratitude towards a personal God who designed you and thought of you and created you and has a plan for you and desires a relationship with you. But if you reject all that, yeah, then just practice gratitude and practice relaxation and doing nothing, enjoying the creation, which you don't believe has a creator. I mean, yeah, enjoy the beauty of the random, mindless process that somehow turned literally nothing into all these beautiful, amazing things. You know? So eWar99 doesn't believe in space or Santa. That's cool. It doesn't matter if you believe or not, the Earth is still flat, no matter what kind of brainwashing you're exposed to, says eWar99. I think you're... Is this Flat Smack with a new YouTube name? Yeah, Crispy says, even if you don't believe in God, appreciate every day because life is truly short. The older I get, the more I realize it's gone in a flash, and most of our concerns don't mean anything. Yeah. I think about this a lot, too. You know? I think about that a lot, too. There was never nothing. That's against the laws of physics. Right. So that means there was always something, which means there has to be some eternal existence. Right? So that means there has to be a God. You could kick the can down the road, I guess. You know. There has to be a first cause of all things. You can't have something with nothing. If you have something, it came from something. Right? You think we're in a simulation? Well, look, if we're in a simulation, that means there's a creator. I mean, like, really, like, that's... If we're in a simulation, and we're in a sub-reality of some kind of larger reality, well, to me, that's a biblical worldview, right? According to Scripture, humanity exists in a sub-reality of a larger spiritual reality. And, you know, you can only get so small. I'm pretty sure the smallest particle is like 10 to the negative, I forget. There's a certain limit of how small you can have something before it just pops into non-locality, allegedly. I mean, I don't know if that's true. This is what I heard. But if it's true, yeah, it means we exist in some kind of sub-reality. Some kind of reality that's created inside of a larger reality. Very similar to a simulation or a computer program. But that's exactly what the Bible teaches, not in those words, but God, who exists outside of our observable reality, created this reality and put us here. And this reality is a sub-reality of a much larger reality that we don't have the senses to see and hear and touch and feel and taste. But, do I think Bitcoin comes down to the lows? What lows are we talking about? Flat earthers around the globe, I don't know. Yeah, shout out to Flat Smack with a new name. The dollar's dumping. Is the dollar dumping? Let's see. Bitcoin's dumping. Silver's pumping. How tall am I? I'm 6'3", about 6'3". Shout out to French Toaster. God bless you, French Toaster. Yeah, I agree. Evolution does make zero sense to me. But look, there are actually a lot of Christians who believe in evolution, but to me, it doesn't make sense to me. But there's a lot of theistic evolutionists out there. I'm a little bit more old school, you know what I'm saying? Give me a good old King James Bible, you know. Give me a good old-fashioned King James Bible, you know. What do I do in crypto so boring? I talk about Jesus, I talk about nutrition, and I don't really enter into any big trades. You know, right now I've got like two $50,000 positions, you know, just playing the chop here. That's what I do. Shout out to 5280. He says, praise Yah, praise Yah, praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I am so thankful to Jesus for everything that he's blessed me with in my life. He's been so good to me, so merciful. He's had so much favor on me. And when I look back in time, I see all the places in my life where he had favor on me, keeping me out of bad situations, even using my own stupid decisions in the end for blessings. It's amazing. I'm so thankful. I am so thankful. Can I dunk a basketball? No. Yeah, forget science when you watch this channel. Science goes totally out the window. Just give me a good old King James Bible, and don't ever give me a test tube or a beaker or any of that science stuff, please. My goodness. A CVD divergence on silver. Do I think we should take Greenland for America? I don't know. I haven't been following that crap at all. But I'll tell you one thing. When I hear stuff like that, it makes me think, like, what's in Greenland? I don't know. I have no idea. I have not been following that garbage at all. I'll be honest with you. I do not care at all about Greenland. Now, here's the thing. I don't know. Maybe it's important. I don't know. But at this point in my life, I just don't care. I just don't care. You know? I don't care at all. I don't care at all about politics. At all. At all. At all. At all. At all. At all. I'll be honest with you. I'm not saying it's the right view to have. I personally, right now, I do not give a crap. I do not give a crap. I've been here, you know, what, I'm 35. I've been here since Bush 1. All right? I literally could have had no idea that the United States had presidents, and my life wouldn't have changed at all. You know? Life goes on, man. That's how I look at it. I don't have time to worry about that crap. You know? And if you do, God bless you. God bless you for it. No King James NIV. I like the NIV. I'll tell you what I like about the NIV. I'll tell you what I like about the NIV. I like the way they deal with the textual variants. I know people hate on the NIV, but I like the way they deal with the textual variants among manuscript traditions. Like, for example, John 1:18, right? Is it monogenes theos? Or is it monogenes weos, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce Greek. All right? Monogenes theos or monogenes weos. The NIV takes both and puts them into the verse. It says, the only begotten Son, who himself is God, who is in close relationship with the Father, he has made him known. So the NIV says, look, there's a difference in tradition. You got the Byzantine tradition. You got the Alexandrian and the critical editions. Which one is right? Well, they're both theologically correct. So, let's just take them both. I appreciate that about the NIV. You know? People want to hate on the NIV. The NIV. It's important to be informed when you're trading. I'll be honest with you. I have never taken a trade based on fundamentals. Besides FTX going down, I've never taken a trade based on fundamentals, and it hasn't affected my trading at all, to be honest, as a day trader. As a swing trader and a somebody who holds Bitcoin, somebody who holds gold, silver, it's bullish in general no matter what happens, right? But yeah, like I said, I'm not saying it's right to not care, about what's going on in the world, but at this point in my life, I do not care about what's going on in the world at all. Like, at this point in my life, it could change. Trust me, there's a time when I was glued to the news. Not too long ago, I was literally glued to the news, baby. Trying to figure out what's going on. Can't trust the mainstream left media. Can't trust the mainstream right media. Can't trust the alternative media that's been co-opted by the mainstream. Can't trust Tucker Carlson. You know, he's a CIA agent anyway. Alex Jones works for Time Warner. You can't trust these guys. You know, listen to what they say anyway. Try and put the little pieces together. What's going on? What's really going on? All right? Alternative media, independent journalists, all this. Right? I used to be all into that stuff. But then I realized, you know what? I just don't feel like having that as part of my life. I just don't feel like caring about that crap. Because when I look back, since like I got into Bitcoin, it literally hasn't mattered at all who the president is, what the political atmosphere is, what's going on. Really all that matters is my relationship with God, my relationship with my family, and am I doing my own business, right? Am I working hard, trying to provide for my family, trying to do what God has me to do right now, or am I worried about things I can't really control at all, right? And so at this point, I just don't care at all. I do not give a crap. I don't care. You know? Shout out to Lucky Jim Bob. The world is a stage. That's how I feel. You know, my personal view is that all politics are scripted. I feel like it's all scripted. Like, I feel like Trump is literally an actor. He's playing a role. Biden was an actor. He probably didn't know, but his handlers were making him do and say and portraying him in a way that they wanted him to be portrayed in. It's all a stage. All right? Like, not just United States politics. I believe world politics are kind of real and they're kind of not, right? It's kind of like WWE. That's my own personal view. You know? I'm eating potatoes with cabbage, fried eggs, and plain yogurt. That's what's up, my end. That is what's up. Alright. I like the doctrine of I don't give a crap. It's a really great doctrine, I'll tell you. Not giving a crap, it's so freeing. You know, it's so freeing. Just don't give a crap, you know? Unless it's within your immediate, where you can do something about it with your own two hands. Why take that energy and divert it into something you can't control that will probably just cause unneeded stress? It'll probably take away from your gains in the gym. It'll probably take away from your gains in the gym, you know? And look, if something crazy happens and America falls into the hands of some evil enemy, the leftists, maybe the Democrats, you know, the communists, the technocrats, and the fourth industrial revolution comes, you know, then whatever, man. Then I die just like everyone else has died, and then I get to go be with the Lord. And then none of this stuff mattered anyway, you know? The KJV, the NIV skips verses. Yeah, they're using different manuscript traditions, right? So if you're gonna read a Bible, you should understand where it came from, what they're translating it from, and why they translated it certain ways. There's an age-old debate. It's actually not age-old. It's a pretty new debate, actually, of what manuscripts we should use. It's an interesting topic of study and discussion, you know? Look, I've got my Textus Receptus and I've got my NA28, and I read them both. worse than dying is being a slave? That's true. Well, I'm doing everything I can to not be a slave. All right, I'm out there trying to do a homestead. You know, I don't have a job. I praise the Lord. I haven't had a job in, what year is it? 2026. Haven't had a job in 13 years. I have not had a job since 2013. Praise the Lord. I have no debt. Praise the Lord. My house is powered by solar. I have my own water source. Praise the Lord. You know, I'm doing the best I can to not be a slave. All right. So, like I said, if the shoe falls and now all of a sudden we wake up to the complete police state tomorrow, well, at least I gave it a good shot, and at least I had 35 years of not being a slave. You know? And at least I got a better shot of not having to be rounded up and put in a smart city than all the other people that act like everything's fine and they're not trying to grow their own food or become self-sufficient and all this stuff. Like, you know, these city people acting like everything's just totally fine. I mean, that's a little crazy to me. At least try and get out there and get some dang chickens or whatever, you know? So when the supply chain goes down, you know, you'll be all right for a little bit, you know? But, 001 Sequoia, respectfully, I would have to disagree. I think that's quite an ignorant comment to say that the New Testament is a crock that was cooked up by the Roman elites when the Nicene Creed came to be. The reason why I think that's ignorant is because we can go read manuscripts of the New Testament that predate the Council of Nicaea in the 4th century. Right? So, like, if I want to know, for example, what the book of John said before the Council of Nicaea, you know, 200 years before the Council of Nicaea, I can go look at a manuscript of the book of John that was written down by hand before the Council of Nicaea. And I can compare the pre-Nicaea New Testament to the post-Nicaea New Testament. And you could do this too. It just takes a quick Google search. Just Google, for example, P66. All right? P66, John. You can go read it for yourself. If you know biblical Greek, even the most basic biblical Greek, you can read it for yourself. All right? And you can compare it and see how it lines up. All right? You can see how it lines up. So, you can do it. You could do it for free on the internet. You know, it's pretty cool. This is the beginning of the Gospel of John. Do you know what it says? It says, "In the beginning was the Word," speaking of Jesus, "and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." That's what it says. It's a little difficult to read because it's old, but you can make it out. Also, we have the anti-Nicene fathers who quoted the entire New Testament multiple times over in their own writings, hundreds of years before the Council of Nicaea. So there's really no doubt at all that the New Testament we have today is the same New Testament that existed before Rome became a Christian empire and before the Council of Nicaea. There's literally zero doubt, zero, and you can prove it for yourself by looking at the actual manuscripts. But anyway, the 18th verse says monogenes theos in P66. R.C. Moore. P66 says monogenes theos, which that's actually, it says monogenes theos haon. Monogenes theos haon. I believe the Ha'on is a reference to the divine name. Monogenes Theos Ha'on. I believe Ha'on is a reference to Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. My view of John 1:18 is that John is saying the one and only God who is Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. In the bosom of the Father, he has exegeted God to us. And on that note, I'm gonna head out, guys. I love you. Peace.